Even if you don't carry the title project manager, professionals from all backgrounds are expected to execute projects on time and on budget. Project management is not just for project managers, and in this video, I'm going to share with you my project manager tips for non-project managers. And stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to share with you how you can get your hands on my free checklist on how to stop projects from failing. Hi, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Adriana Girdler, and on this channel, you're going to get the best practical project management advice out there, in my humble opinion. Now, I would be honored if you subscribe to this channel because it allows this community to grow, and it is a real awesome community. So if you're now ready to learn about those project management tips for non-project managers, oh my goodness, let's get to it. Know when you're running a project. Most people run projects without realizing they're running a project and then wonder why things aren't going well. Well, a lot of times people just don't understand what a project is. There's an assumption out there that projects are these huge, complex, multi-layered teams, huge deliverables, and that's not necessarily true. So what is a project? Well, a project has a definitive start, a definitive end, and a very specific deliverable that you have to obtain at the end of the project. And you have to do it within a selected time frame. So now that I say that as a definition of a project, you're probably going, oh my goodness, I actually run projects. Activities, initiatives, a lot of stuff that professionals do are projects. Now, did you just have that aha moment right now? If you did, put it in the comments below. If you're not running daily business activities, then in essence, you're probably running a project, or maybe you call it an activity, or maybe you call it an initiative. It's all the same thing. So it becomes really important that you recognize that because you put on a different hat / perspective when you understand you're running projects, because it's not business as normal. There's a different way to look at things. So, but I have you covered because I have lots of other great videos on what exactly is project management. And if you go to the search bar in YouTube and go Adriana Girdler, what is project management, a whole bunch of other videos will pop up for you so you can even go more in depth on this particular subject. But know when you're running a project, and it makes a huge difference in how you approach it because now you understand there are different things that you have to do because it's a project. Understand the deliverable. Okay, we just learned what a project is. That is really important, and it talked about the deliverable. But really understand what that is. What are you doing? And the best way to do that is to really understand your deliverable at the beginning stages and framework of a project. We call that initiation and planning stage. So by understanding why you're doing the project, what's expected from you, who are you going to need, really defining it properly is going to help you with the end result, which is the deliverable. You have to be really clear on this. If you're not, then it becomes very loose and muddy as to what you're actually doing, which hence why there's a lot of failure for non-project managers. Because again, remember that we put on a different hat. You really have to understand the deliverable. And in order to do that and really get crystal clear, you want to put a lot of attention on that beginning stages of your project, which is in the initiation and the planning phase of what's going on. Be a good meeting facilitator. What? Adriana, what are you talking about meetings? Okay. Meetings are your lifeline when it comes to projects, and in the virtual world that a lot of us are living in, you're only meeting your team on either a Zoom or a Teams call or some sort of virtual call. So it's all through meetings. It becomes really important that you get really good at facilitation, because the worst thing that can happen is when meetings go on, they don't have structure, you don't have that framework that's needed, you don't understand how to facilitate, you don't know how to stop conversations. It's just something that is your tool from your toolbox that you use in order to be really successful. So really be a good meeting facilitator. Understand how to facilitate in an in-person session, because those tend to be slightly different, and then how to facilitate really well in a virtual session. I got you covered. Again, more videos on my channel. Just go Adriana Girdler, meetings in the YouTube search bar, and you will definitely get some other really good facilitation tips and tricks that are going to help you that I myself use. So really focus on being a good meeting facilitator. It's a skill set that's not a nice to have, it's a must have. Learn how to create key documents. Oh, This can overwhelm a lot of individuals, particularly those non-project managers, because it can be a lot of work documentation. If we're constantly busy and now you're asking me to document stuff, yeah, I actually am. Think about it. If you've been a non-project manager working on activities and initiatives, aka projects, and they've gone sideways on you, it's probably because of your lack of documentation or not the right documentation. I see often, too often, people managing projects through emails or chat windows. Oh my goodness. And then they wonder why that agreement, the discussion that they had didn't come to fruition, or worse yet, everyone understood what needed to be done, but someone else didn't deliver, and you don't have the right paper trail to ensure that you can get recourse or compensation, particularly when it's a third-party supplier, if you're working in that way and they really made a bad mistake and you don't have it properly documented. All right, so even though documentation can feel overwhelming, it is going to help you, and the work is really up front in that planning and initiation stage that I mentioned in my last tip. So you want to really ensure that you have a scope statement. You have an understanding as to the charter. You're going to have your schedule, some risk mitigation. There are some other documents too that you want to consider. Now, as a side note, I actually have a course called Slay Project Management right over there. And the link is underneath this video that walks you through everything, gives you the templates that you need. Because for a non-project manager, it can be really overwhelming. What do I do? How do I create it? Well, I take care of that for you, and I walk you through everything as well. So you don't even have to think about it. Just follow my formula. I use it all the time, get complimented on it. It's gonna work for you. But documentation, you need to have it. It is not it's not a nice to have, it's a must have, and it's just gonna save you in the long run because you're gonna have everything organized, and it's really actually gonna save you time. Because in the beginning, even though you're creating it, once it's all set up properly, then you're giving it to your team, and your team is now accountable for updating it. Again, I talk all about that in my course there that you can, if you choose to, can get that information from. But really focus on great documentation. Set expectations and be a motivator. Okay, when you realize that you're project managing, then you start to realize that you're now managing other people who don't report into you to get their tasks done so that your deliverable can be met. It's a different perspective, it's a different approach. So you really need to be clear with setting expectations with everyone, and you do that at the beginning of the project when you have a kickoff and you're very clear with like, hey, here's what it is I expect from you, now what do you expect from me? And if you get that buy-in immediately when you bring everyone together, because again, this is what I mean about you have a different perspective when you realize you're running a project because you approach things differently, it really sets your tone because now you're saying, we're all gonna be working together, here's how I expect us to work, here's the behaviors I expect from everybody, what do you want from me? And it really sets the right teamwork tone that you're gonna want, and believe you me, need as things progress and sometimes get a little bit out of control because there's no perfect project, right? You're gonna have fires that you're gonna have to fight. Now, the other aspect is not only we said about expectations, but motivation. So I have my Lego characters. I love my Lego characters. My Lego characters I use to have fun, to inject fun into my projects, because a lot of my projects are a lot of work. They're huge. They're global oriented. They're they're massive. Now, I do have smaller ones as well, don't get me wrong, and I still like to inject fun. And a nice way to do that is to pick a theme. Have a Lego character. Everything is awesome is when we use with Emmett, and we have other ones too, and then I give a choice to individuals which Lego character they want to use for the theme. It's just fun. It's a nice way when you're working to kind of have a little fun because we're all trying to get to the same goal, and why not have a little fun while doing it, right? So ensure that you motivate and that you set your expectation. That's really important and going to help you to be successful as a non-project manager. Think big picture. Okay. As a non-project manager, you can just think, oh, I have to get all this stuff done, right? Just give me the tasks. I call them, it's like a tactical approach. Nothing wrong with that. Yes, in projects, you do need your task list, and tactically, you need to get each item done, absolutely. But when it comes to projects, you really have to think strategically, take a step back, really take a look overall as to the strategy of the organization, going to your project documentation, why are you doing this? It really brings a different perspective and it ensures that you stay on course. So really think strategically, don't get lost in the weeds of all your tasks. Do take a step back. Look at how it all ties in with everything around you, and then you be the one as the person who's leading that project, activity, initiative, whatever you want to call it, and just give the guidance to everyone else about the bigger picture. That can really diffuse when people feel a little overwhelmed with everything that they're doing, when you remind them why they're doing it, the strategy behind everything. Focus on time management and prioritization. Now that you understand the difference of project work versus daily work, time management and prioritization becomes really important. Know how to manage your time, how to manage the time of the project and the individuals around you. Really have that clear timetable so everybody knows what's expected of them and when. Prioritization becomes really important too, because you start getting bombarded with a lot of important work that's urgent. But who is it urgent for? Is it urgent for you, the project, for someone else? So you really have to be able to sift through that, and prioritization is a great way to do it. Things may be important, but where is it in the priority sequence of getting things done? And that's actually a very powerful magic wand that you have, is if you're getting bombarded from other people by saying, I need this done, it's really important. It's like, okay, hold on, let's look at it. Here are my other important items. Where does it fit in this scale? And then it's like a negotiation tool. So it's not just you getting dumped on and taking it all on. You start to negotiate. Why? Because you now know you're running a project and you have to make sure you have a whole bunch of other things you have to do too. And when you start thinking in that mindset, you have different lingo and language that you use, which is just really going to make it helpful for you so you're not getting dumped on all the time. So good time management, understand prioritization, and it really does make a big difference on your projects. Okay, if you stayed to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate it. I got a special gift for you. This is the checklist I was talking about earlier on. It's for you. It tells you how and what and why projects fail. The link is below under this video, so grab it. It's free, my gift to you. Thanks. And on that note, see you at the next video.